Okay. We in here. We in here. All right. So, welcome to Movie Innerstandings. I am Achi Low. Know what I'm talking about. And here we are. Uh, already. Wow. Here come Emma Arlene, the first one. Okay. And to this strong, we are talking about Infinite. It took us a while to get here. Someone made sure that we got today requests because you got to show love to the elder ones in the room. They gotta feel special. You want to feel like the blind stepchild, parentless. So you know, you know. If you ever had grandparents that want some attention, you just like, okay, grandma, just. But yeah, already, but this one was requested by Safar Arlene. You know what I'm talking about, and she requested this a long time ago, but because of accessibility, I couldn't do it for a minute. And then it just came to a head, and she just put herself all out in the open. you know, when Sister Deidre couldn't get her request there, with Kingdom of Heaven, here she come. It's like I got a request and I ain't got. Yeah. It happens like that. Like I said, I be waiting for them to change the decks. I mean, I gotta wait for the shuffle. Can they shuffle and then deal out the cards? I mean, for real. But peace, Latanya. Um, but anyway, Freddie said the truth was funny. Yeah, but she requested this movie, right? And it's interesting and it's quite meh. But the premise is interesting. I like the premise. The premise or the plot was very interesting. Um, in this movie, we're talking about, the title says it all, infinite, but we're really talking about reoccurring reincarnation. In just for I guess basics, reincarnation is, when you die and come back again. That's the basic form. You die, you come back, and reincarnated as somebody else. Or you come back not as your former self, but your new self. Same soul, different body. Same. um, what? Same inmate, different prison. Same inmate, different prison. You may be going to county, you may be going to state, you may be going to a fair joint. You know what I'm talking about? Just depends on. But yeah, that's basically what it is. And here we're talking about these people who are called infinites, and they are people who remember their past lives, right? Now you got two factions. You know what I'm talking about. You got the believers. You know what I'm saying? Exact. See, Love Jones. That's that's what I'm talking about. Same. Same God, different trap. Exactly. You know. But yeah, you got the believers, um, who basically use their knowledge of their past lives to protect humanity, and then you have the nihilists, who see the power that they have as a curse, and they want to end humanity. like I said, the premise was interesting, but the execution was just stupid. Especially when it came to the nihilists. You already know who are the who's the factions, who's the opposing forces, right? But it just seems like all of this could have been all of this could have been solved. Like, you know, pretty quite easily. And then I thought, from the nihilist perspective, no one had any compassion for them, you know. But you see a car chase, and what's happening is, they're getting chased by nihilists, and they are basically are getting chased because they have in their possession the egg. Um, Treadway and his friends. I can't remember all their past lives names. So, but he ends up dying, and he ends up hiding an egg, right? And all basically, him and his friend die, right? And so he's basically reborn, into Evan, and they're in New York, and Evan is basically a manager, or a restaurant manager, and he's going in for an interview, but he doesn't get the job, because Evan's a schiz, or he's a schizophrenic. Um, Basically, a schizophrenic is, you have multiple personalities in a sense, and they come out sometimes. If you ever seen the movie, okay, Jim Carrey, Jim Carrey, he was a Mountie. Jim Carrey. Okay, what was that movie? I remember him. Okay, uh the three black sons. Dang, what was that movie? Oh, now I'm forgetting that movie. Oh, it's there. Me, myself, and Irene. Thank you. Ooh. I can remember everything else, but I could not remember that dang old name. What's the name of that movie? I ain't seen this so long. But yes, me, myself, and Irene. Thank you. Give thanks, because I sure enough forgot. Me, myself, and Irene. Same, dealing with the same thing. But you know, he doesn't get the job and he tries to please his case, like, I'm good now, I'm not having these problems and whatnot. But they say, oh, we'll give you that call, and he's like, well, you're not gonna call me, what I'm saying. And then he almost gets into an altercation with the business owner and whatnot. But he leaves. But then you see him being a blacksmith, and him having basically flashbacks to one of his previous lives of him being a Japanese blacksmith, folding the steel. Usually I'm used to, when it comes to katanas, I'm used to mahogany steel, but he used a different type of steel with this one. Um, he didn't make the katana the traditional way, but he was still able to make it, in a sense. Yes, that movie is hilarious. No, the the suns kept me rolling, but yeah. So don't do it. He's a skit. Yeah. I thought it was crazy. He couldn't remember his past life, but he remembered that. Peace Chief. I thought, well, he could probably, I would say, Soft Eileen, it's like this. Even if he has the memory of his past life, I would say he also has the muscle memory of his past life as well. So his body could probably also have the muscle memory of a blacksmith. That's why he was able to make one. He couldn't remember his past life, but his body could remember it for him. Probably so. I would say it like that, in a sense. Whereas he he couldn't remember, like, probably, the name, or probably what clan he worked for, things like that. But he had the muscle memory, the reincarnated muscle memory. You know what I'm talking about? So that's how I would, say that, right? Um, but you can also say that this movie is sort of Matrix like, but not Matrix. Like, it takes a little bit of the Matrix premise, in a sense. You know what I'm saying? And whatnot. All right, cool, cool, cool. So he makes this katana and he trades it for pills, from drug dealers, but the deal goes south. And when we get to the scene, I already knew this deal was gonna go south. Now, mind you, I ain't never had no experience like this, but I knew the dang on deal was gonna go south when one of the guys was talking way too much. Usually you want to get in and you want to get out. And all of a sudden, here you have all these people talking too much, and they ain't got the count right. I mean, we trying to get in and out. We ain't trying to get locked up. And here you are talking way too dang on much. and it's like, I already know this is gonna go south. Usually by that time you want to have a contingency. It's like, okay, so the chick is eyeing him. Maybe she ready to choose. Oh well, but look, it was just way too much. But I knew that was gonna happen, and so he beats everybody up with, I guess you could say, reincarnated muscle memory, and is able to use the katana to slice off fingers and things like that. But he still gets, the prescription pills that he needs. It was just that count was off. It was like, the deal was for 60. This is 55. He didn't even, count it. He looked at it. Some people can do that. He looked at the bag and knew it was 55 in there. We ain't got that. Well, shoot, let me know when you do. That's when you take the sword back and say, let me know when you do, and peace out. But no, but yeah, it was everything like that. Then the cops come and Ray bad bunch. See? Yeah. Then the cops come and he basically has a I don't want to say schizophrenic moment, but he has a reincarnated flashback to where he's on a mountain and someone's about to fall, and he ends up falling, and then he ends up crashing, um, realistically, on a car, And so, he gets, arrested by the police. And then here we see, basically, Bathurst, right? And he meets Evan, and basically, he's like, man, it's good to see you, because he remembers his past life. Like I say, Bathurst was an interesting character. You know what I'm saying? He was very interesting, and like I say, the premise that he had a point. I don't think, it's like no one's hearing this guy. You know what I'm talking about? What a time to have a flashback. I know you gotta something, you gotta duck the cops, and then all of a sudden, flashback. Yeah, I'm trying to get away, and flashback, it kicked in. But yeah, but he talks to him, and then he basically, puts out like 4 things, and he mentions the Punic Wars, which has to deal with Rome and Carthage. If you don't know, Hannibal Barca, Asdrubal Barca, Mago Barca, Hamilcar Barca, the Lion's Brood, and things like that. Battle can I? I ain't getting into all of that, but maybe I like that because I like the penal sport was cool. But yeah, he talks to him about that, and then he lays out 4 things for him. And in my notes, I call it a reincarnation test. Usually, I've known that basically this is done realistically in Tibetan Buddhist culture. Like if like a head abbot or something dies, they search, for his reincarnation, and then they they put out some things for like the kid or something to pick, and then they pick, and it was like, oh, that was his. You you've seen in Avatar, The Last Airbender. Another movie that you've seen in is Little Buddha. Little Buddhas. Same thing. But yeah. So peace, Sham, the joy. So you know, at first he picked something. He's like, I don't know, and then they playing Russian roulette. So, Bathurst, he's popping out the gun. What I'm saying? And by this point, when we play a Russian roulette, I was thinking of that famous that good movie. Was it Hang 'em High? No, I don't think it was Hang 'em High. Who? I think he had what, Dustin Hoffman, and he's like, "Shoot him, Nikki, shoot him." Take it, Nikki. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. They play a Russian roulette with basically Vietnam, and he's like, "Go ahead, and do it, Nikki. Do it, Nikki. Do it." I'm like, we play a Russian roulette. That's what we're back to my mind. But was it Deer Hunter? Huh? I thought Darren Hunter was about the taxi driver, but yeah, I guess so. but for sure. And as he's doing that, he picks something up, and then he's instantly transported. He puts up a slingshot actually, and you see a flashback of him basically killing a warrior with the slingshot or whatever. From the looks of it. We are in the New World, look like Aztec, Mayan culture, So, for sure, give thanks, Sham. Thank you, Money. DJ Money. Okay. So, yeah, I think of that movie too, but I couldn't remember it. I've seen it one time, but I thought it was good. And so, he's like, Bathurst's like, man, it's good to see you, my friend. You know what I'm saying? But then somebody crashes into the dang on, police house and snatch Evan, and then we got another car chase, and he meets Nora, who also knows him in his past life. And, he gets on a plane, and he's, basically told about the factions. And you see, Bathurst, he raised the New York chapter that was able to find Evan, what I'm saying, and whatnot. Not everybody know who Bathurst is. They have reincarnated lives, but they also met sometime in their lifetime, or in their reincarnated lifetimes. So they know him. But like I say, Bathurst had an interesting point. Because Bathurst, it's like this. You're reincarnated, right? It's like, to me, it was like, okay, the most I said, okay, since y'all ain't answering these questions, since y'all ain't answering these questions for me, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to have you have the memories of your past lives, and until you answer these questions, you're going to continue to repeat special ed. you know, you're going to go back down there, and you're going to continue to go back down there until you do what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm talking about? So yeah, and we have that. At least that's what I thought. But then we have Bathurst. He's like in Dune. He's pre-born. That's yes, special. Oh, yeah, special ed. Can't get right. They can't get right. It's like the believers say that they are doing this all for humanity, but what if they were apparently leaving the world better than they left it, then they wouldn't be reincarnated anymore. You know what I'm talking about? That was my thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, y'all keep on getting reincarnated, then what y'all doing is not really helping. You know what I'm saying? He got his that's what I said. Exactly, South. That's what I say. He's like in Dune. He's pre-born. But the thing is, he continues to get his memory back from the womb. It's each time. Whereas everybody else, they usually get their memory back basically around their teenage years. But for him, it's from the womb. And like in Dune, it's a very traumatic thing. Now, if you think about it in this perspective, if he's continuing it to have this happen to him from the womb to have these memories, it's very dang on traumatic and whatnot, because it keeps on happening to him, and he doesn't have I guess the mature mind to really handle it. He's handling it, from basically, I would say, as a fetus, same thing, and you continue to have it, it'll make you crazy. He's basically dealing with PTSD every time, and nobody's here. It's a cry for help. That's why I saw it as, he's a at, he's a wounded soldier. You know what I'm saying? And you have, the believers talk about faith and having faith, but faith is a knowing. And it's like, for him, it's like, well, you have to see that he's different from all of us. And none of us, it seemed like none of them tried to help him. He probably had some point where he had a cry for help and nobody helped him. Nobody that was an infinite helped him. And so he created, people that he just wanted everything in. It went on so much that he had resentment, but probably because he wasn't answering his question anyway, and he was probably the baddest one. You got them kids, that's the baddest one. He was the baddest one, and probably his punishment was, okay, I'm like everybody else, since you don't want to answer your question and you blatantly refuses to answer your question, you like throw your daggone homework out the window. Guess what? You are going to remember everything from the womb. you know, you're going to remember everything from the womb. And it's like, he's like, man, y'all not like me, and I just wanted to end. And he thinks that ending humanity will basically make everything stop, or make his pain stop. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, bruh, I hate to say this, but I was like, bruh, you got the answer. You invented the answer right in front of you. Why don't you just, use it vertically, on someone else other than, those are not involuntary. You know what I'm saying? I'll put it to you like that. So it was like that was the interesting part for me. You know what I'm saying? Because it was like, well, if you're leaving the world better, why is where's the world peace or something like that, or the excess of food where everybody eats, but y'all saying y'all making the world better. I know they're not. They should have had more time with the nihilists, just to say, but they're not making the world better no way. What are they doing so well? Look at where the world is right now. But yet they've been called down to go too, and they don't do anything. That would have been more interesting. But when you see that part with Bathurst and he explains, you realize he does have a point. He just look. It was really a cry for help from him because he got tired. But he wouldn't. But he always, he's like he wanted to see God's face. He wanted to see the Most High's face. Well, quit being hard headed. You know what I'm talking about, and answer your purpose. And then maybe you will see the most out of it. Maybe you won't have to come back anymore. Maybe you'll basically, it's like like one time when she was talking about those people that, stuck on that pew, after they transition because they waiting for Jesus to come back, but it's like that, but you got like this one person that just wants to get out, and he's like, "I'm tired of being on this dang on pew. I'm tired of, I'm tired of looking at sister such and such already in her Sunday best. She wore the same thing for 500 years, and this is getting on my dang on nerve. I don't even know what time frame we in right now. He ain't coming. I know he ain't coming." Can I go somewhere else now? And you can't go nowhere else. And then you just set the church on fire. Something like that. Everybody was like, we supposed to be waiting for the end times. And you just gonna burn the church? Yes. You got that one descending person. That's basically what Bathurst is. But yeah, and so what I'm talking about, you gotta basically Evan is, training, to be the one. I just put Evan's training to be the one, because everybody looks at him as, the Messiah. He has this, great power that he awakens, every time he's reincarnated, and he also knows where the egg is, which the egg is basically a bomb that basically will erase all life on the planet Earth. Now, when you think about that, it's like, well, the universe isn't governed by that, or Earth isn't governed by that. So how can it erase all of life on Earth when it's not? I was thinking too much. So, so we see, how Bathurst basically kills infinites. He puts their souls on chips, which is very interesting. If you ever saw Black Mirror, it's sort of the same thing. You see the same thing in Black Mirror, where basically your soul's on the chip and whatnot. And so you also see one thing that was said was death is a turning page. You turn. You basically turn the pages. But at least if it is like that, if it is just the turning of a page, you should be at least able to end the chapter and go on to the next chapter, so you can answer another question probably, or come to the ending of the book. Where you don't have to come down anymore. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, you gonna end. Otherwise, you gonna be like, she be like, nah, I'm staying. Nah, I mean, I ain't going back. See, we already know. Like, she already said, I ain't going back. We gonna be fighting. St. Peter can't whoop me. I got them hands, B. Come on, but knock St. Peter the F out. Yeah, put Jesus in the chokehold. That's funny. I can see it. She's just tapping out. But hey, it is what it is. You know what I'm talking about. But should never brought that up. But yeah, you see. The jokes come, man. I swear I could go on, but no. But you see, Bathurst, one he invades the hub, where the believers' headquarters are. And it's easy. I mean, for people that are infinite, they had no sense of defense. Guards, anything like that. I mean, it's just wide open. You know, uh, I just really was like, yeah, they just easily got in. They just, dropped in, whatever. But one thing was interesting is that Evan meets like his long lost love, there, and not Evan but Bathurst, and he's like, don't you want to be free? And because she's crippled, she's in a wheelchair. You know what I'm saying? And she's like, I'm not the cripple. No, you are. She calls him Otto, but I'm not the cripple. You are. But he's like, nah, son. you know, um, this is, this ain't what it is, man. But you see Evan and his team. You know, uh, they go to London to meet the artisan, and the artisan, is like a crazed, one of them crazed nuts. He's working with brains and whatnot, and it's weird, you know, um, and they basically want to reawaken Evans, reincarnated memories, but they can only give him the shock treatment in a sense when he's already had the shock treatment and as a kid, but give him a near-death experience with water. They're using water. We're dealing with memory here, so water was going to be used at some point in time. So we see them drown Evan, and as he drowns, he starts to remember, his previous life and where he hid the egg in a sense, but he almost has to die in order for him to remember, while they're doing that, Bathurst is just at the gambling table, watching on screen. It's like it's like the big bad guy or the protagonist always one step ahead of y'all, like really, you know um but he remembers, and he says, he gave the clue all along when he said look inside. It's actually inside his previous body, which he says out loud. Now mind you, I don't even know how Bathurst heard this, but he heard it, so he knows where the egg is now. And so they have to go back to the hub to get the dang on body. But Bathurst has the hub. So what happens, the artisan's place get raided and whatnot, and Evan gets shot, and two of his homies die in the process. But he gets patched up, and Nora goes back to basically be sniper. She goes back to be sniper. And what is so interesting is this girl is shooting with a modernized AK-47 or a variant of an AK-47, and I'm like, you ain't experiencing no kickback. Like, I'm you so small, when you walk. Uh, yeah, I was focusing on the wrong thing at that point. But she able to pick everybody off and do these dang on acrobatics, and still not get shot and whatnot. But when Evan wakes up, the artisan tells him, Nora's gone and went to go see Bathurst. What was interesting is that the artisan is playing the dang on Black National Anthem. I'm like, what does this have to do with the movie? It was just like that came out of left field, out of nowhere. I don't know whether I didn't know whether to to really. Yeah, look, even if it is, I didn't know whether I should stay in and see the song because I still remember the song. or what? I didn't know what to do. You like, it's TV. It's like, yeah, it's TV, but TV should make sense. At least to me. I don't know. TV ain't made sense in a long time, apparently. But yeah. So he goes to stop Bathurst, and then he comes with a dang on tank and a dune buggy, pretty much. And he's able to save Nora, but uh basically grenade is basically shot at them and blows up the dune buggy, and Nora gets hit with basically shrapnel, so she's wounded. Yeah, nobody thought about this plan. you know but while Evan is going to basically um stop Bathurst, you have um Nora saying she's going to free the souls that are in those chips. One of them actually has to be, her love, her lover of many, many lives. Every life they fall in love and they get together, every life. And then they go back basically back to the beginning, which is Angkor Wat. It's a ancient city. Angkor should be in. I don't want to say it's Southeast Asia. I'll just say it like that because I can't remember the country. But yeah, and it's just a lot. He he used a motorcycle to get on the plane, and then used the katana to stay on the plane. you know, and it's like um uh, I'm just gonna trump it up like that's what I said. It's TV, but he's able to stay on. But then he taps into his one powers, right? And then all of a sudden he can basically, I guess, magnetize himself to the plane to where he can stay on, right? And so, um, the bomb is armed. It's a small spherical bomb with a demon's head on it. But like I say, Bathurst basically plays your Luciferian type energy in a sense, and him and Evan, they square off and they fight. You know, and you can see the different play and ideologies, as they fight each other. It's like I would say, maybe Haru and Set. It's like they've done this in more than one lifetime. Um, and so basically, the bomb basically gets out of the plane, and um, Evan's able to disarm the bomb. While he's free falling. Yeah, while he's free falling. They're both free falling at this point. And then, basically, he shoots, you know, um, Bathurst, and he, he shoots Bathurst, and with his own gun, with the basically the gun that puts the souls on ships. So basically, Bathurst basically finally gets what he wants. And I was like, that could have been happened. He could have bit the well. He could have he could have done it for himself or something. Solve the problem solved. But no, we got to have plot. I was gonna say it since I already knew that's what should have happened, but it didn't happen. We just drawing this out, and it's like, bruh, you could have, you the nihilists could have really, solved their own problem and did that. They didn't have to go through all of that, because then I guess the whole purpose of the fight would have been for nothing. I guess the purpose of the fight didn't even make sense. When you could just do that, you would say y'all can have it, or make a deal like, we're going to be put on these ships and then y'all protect them, so we don't have to be waking up again. Bam, problem solved. You know, take these ships, put them in the bottom of the ocean, bury them, something, whatever. But they don't do it. Oh well, we gotta have action. Yeah, action. And choreograph fight scenes and stuff like that. But yeah, Sister Kashia, look, I was there with you, man. I was there with you, like. The way you broke this down, I would rewrite the script. Yeah, you can rewrite the scripts off because it's an interesting premise. The problem is that I would say the protagonist, his agenda is probably misplaced. You know what I'm saying? If you want him to start his own faction, let it be about something else. Whereas the believers want to make humanity, make the world better for humanity. You can say that the nihilists wanted to control humanity because they were infinite. They could be like, well, we're supreme being. I just said it was the Luciferian fairy, like in archetype, right? You could be like, man, we're superior than them. I can remember my past life and I can do so much more. They don't even remember nothing. you know. There are no new. Look, we're at this point where there are with more depth. Exactly. That in this movie is basically saying there are no new souls, and these reoccurring souls that are infinites are basically reoccurring offenders. They just, like I said, they just can't get right. That's why they're reoccurring offenders. They won't learn, Whereas the believers are basically trying to work off their their time with good behavior. The other ones is trying to break out. That's basically what it is. They want to break out of the shell because they can't take it no more. They want to be released. And that's what made the idea or the premise so much more interesting, and you could go so much more into it. You know what I'm saying? But basically, Evan he, like I said, he kills Bathurst with the gun, and then ends up dying anyway. By falling into the ocean. They're in Scotland, so basically falls into the ocean, and he's reincarnated again. At first, I thought he was uh I thought he was being reincarnated as an Arabic baby, but then he ended up being Southeast Asian. I was confused at this point. Like, but once they did that, but then Nora and her love, they find each other and in the ruined city of Angkor Wat and whatnot, and then you see dang on Evan, in his reincarnated body, find with a dang on katana. That's the only life he remembers. It's like that's the only life. You know what I'm saying? um, that's the only life he remembers. But then an older artisan comes and give him his sword. It's like that sword's his. And he's like, artisan, what took you so long? It's like, bruh, you know. Uh, oh, you enjoy my version more? Of course, you're gonna enjoy my version more. I got personality. I got personality. Well, one, I got personality. Two, I thought about the premise. I thought about it and thought, oh, this could be so much better if you did this. Uh, that with that said, I mean, it's an interesting premise. Because even Doom talked about that. But instead of just you remembering other lives through your bloodline, you're remembering your own, So then I thought about what's worse, remember everyone else's bloodline or remembering just your own. They both have the same after effect, possibly, but you're doing it from the womb anyway. So yeah, he was basically out of his mind. Bathurst was out of his mind because he was dealing with PTSD and nobody could save him. He can go to therapy with this, you know what I'm saying? Because humans would just do what they did to Evan, So he couldn't, and his own people, um, couldn't even help him, and then he became too far gone, you know. So yeah, even his own woman, even his woman couldn't help him. So yeah, man. But look, man, this was such light work. Like this movie was light work. But but like a shot, Emerald Lane, like I say, you don't ask for much. This was cool. You know what I'm saying? I was gonna get to it sooner or later, But yeah, you gotta like, share, comment, Sister Kushia say, what I'm talking about. She already said it, Don't make you say it, because he'll put the bead emojis. you 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 might even get the cuss out emojis. You know what I'm talking about. But oh no, if we put, that could be an interesting movie though. If you put like what Jesus, she making Jesus step out, bro. Yeah, he just said, I ain't going, son. You can't make me go, son. He trying to talk him down, basically negotiate. Like what's the name of this last life? It's you. It's you, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, Chief, you, yeah. What do you want? I tell them they ain't sending me back. Tell me you go and tell y'all I ain't going back. Well, I can't really tell. Go on there, so that would be go and put my name on, on the nine. I ain't coming back list. I'm up here with everybody else, and I got VIP status. All the work I done did, you ain't sending me back. Of course, there'll be more curse words, but hmm, you know, Jesus get choked out. Joshua got put in the arm bar. Moses got pissed back. It's just the best. Turn the head upside down. Lucifer just sitting there eating flaming hots like, man, this is good. I couldn't even do this. And he's getting away with it. I should have thought. Look, I should have thought what he thought. But yeah. Join look, join us next strong. Join us next strong. We're gonna be on Oblivion. We're gonna be talking about Oblivion next strong. And we gonna that's we're gonna get into an that's also an interesting one, futuristic, and we gonna have fun with it like we always do, so we're gonna be doing Oblivion next strong, and we gonna take it from there, what I'm talking about. But give thanks everybody, I appreciate you, what I'm talking about. Give thanks again to Marlene. I hope you are thoroughly satisfied. So just gonna wear out the red carpet now. I hope you got you got your Leon treatment, what I'm talking about, and you was able to kick your feet up and the laser board, and you have thoroughly enjoyed yourself, what I'm talking about, because this was all for you. All for you, Semper Fi. Or whatever. What I'm talking about. But give thanks everybody, and I will get back at y'all next strong. Remember, we got Shaman new, and we gonna continue with the work and whatnot. So give thanks everybody, and I will see y'all next strong. Peace.